Hello everyone. Um, this is a really tough video to make, but I hope I can get through this. um, so Kimi, the day after she turned 13, which is June the 16th, she almost like not totally deaf, but it's almost like a flip of the switch, and she's lost most of her hearing. It's like, what just happened? There was no warning signs or anything like that. Um, that I can remember. Because I was going back on, wait a minute, did I miss anything? And I even asked people around here, asked my daughter, and they are like, no, it's like, and they all did not believe me when I said she couldn't hear. Sure enough, there are some, like she could hear a whistle. That's pretty much her range. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, no problem. I can deal with that, whatever. And then when I got back from BC, and that was in September, Kimi was off. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe it was because, and then Diane had looked after her for me. And then when I got back, Diane left and brought her cat here for 2 weeks. And Boots has been here before. I believe I got some videos of him with Kimi on here. And it was almost like Kimi forgot to tell me that she had to go to the bathroom. She would not pee, but she would always do the number two, and she would do it in the kitchen. I don't know what was that all about. But she would always do it in the middle of the night, not telling me she had to get up. So there was that. And I thought, okay, well, maybe because I did go away, and then it's like she's coming here with the cat, and there was no her time. And I thought, well, so I waited until the cat left, because she did it a couple of times, which she hadn't done before. And then the cat left. She still did it the odd time. And then she started bugging for more food and begging for more food. And now I had talked to the vet about the poo situation the very first day, because it was like, it, 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 it was like, where are you holding all? Like, it was unbelievable. Just unbelievable. So I took a sample and took it to the doctor, or the vet, and nothing's wrong. There's see nothing in there. And so it's like, okay, well, so what's happening? And then it was kind of like this. We didn't poop in the kitchen for about a week. We did again for a week. We didn't, and then we did it. And it was really mind-boggling. It was like, what is going on? And I asked the vet again. They said, well, this is what you can do. Give her this food, give her that food. So I did. I went out and got the food that they suggested. And then she wanted more and more and more and more and more. And I'm like, okay, there's something going on. There's this, like, it's almost mental. But she still showed her puppy self, which was very confusing. So now, we're probably in the beginning of October. She started hitting the wall, not watching. It was almost like I think she's watching where she's going. Feels like it's just my head. Sorry, guys. It looks like she's watching where she's going, and then she hit the wall. She hit the door. It's like, what is going on? And I'm like, okay. And there was other things that was happening, but yet she's still showing her puppy self. Now, the beginning, was it before Halloween? It was before Halloween. She would start, she would always be ahead of me. She was always ahead of me. Puppy, crazy, always ahead of me. And then about Halloween, I'm trying to go back. I think it was around Halloween, maybe before, where she started walking behind me, which she never did before. And she wasn't really running anymore. She was kind of walking very like Eeyore style. She had cut most of her walks in a quarter. We would go like down that block and then come back up, and then sometimes we'd just go down that way, go around and do all that stuff. And then other days she would go down this way, and then she wanted to come back, and then I go down that way, and then she'd come back. So I would say, give or take, our walks were about 15 to 20 minutes long, most days. And then they were starting to get to be 30 minutes because of how slow she was walking. And then she just didn't want to leave the premises anymore. She just kept going out back. And then she just started laying down on the road, which is just the parking lot, so in the cement. And I had noticed before that she had a fever, and the doctor said, well, it's got to do with food because they did that test. And at that point, Anna, Kimi was sitting here and staring at me, and she'd been doing that a lot in this past few months. And she was staring at me and staring at me. And I knew she didn't hear me very well. So I got right down and I said right to her, because I know she could hear up close. And I just said, listen. I said, when it's your time, because I can't know. I mean, I can feel it, and I could feel the I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But I said, when you feel it's time, can you please come up and sit beside me, which she never does. So if she comes beside me, she just lays, like she kind of crawls over because she just wants me to pet her. She doesn't want to be on my lap. Don't know why. Anyway, she sat like right beside me like a statue, because I said to her, I said, I know what Grandma went through with the pain with my mom. I know what my mom went through, because that's her grandma. I called her Grandma. And I said, I know what Grandma went through. It was a lot of pain and a lot of stuff. And you can't tell me. I mean, I know you have pain because I can tell. And the doctor said there was nothing. And I'm like, oh. Anyways, and it's hard because she couldn't tell me. And I said to her, I said, listen, when it's time, give me a paw. She never gives me paws. She knows what they are. She definitely knew what they were. 2 weeks later, so was that? No, so it was that was just before, I was right, it was just before Halloween. And I said, when you're ready, so she sat up here, and I said, it's ready. You're ready, aren't you? You're ready to go see Grandma. And she gave this little, like at dawn. And before, she had kind of, like it was a depression. She was sad. You knew she was sad. She wasn't happy. She, still had the puppy for people outside, but in the house. And she rarely wanted to go outside anymore. Like I used to go out, like I say, you want to come? And she'd go with me. And the majority of the time, she wasn't going out with me anymore. And so she came up here, and I said, it's time, isn't it? And then she gave me a grunt. And then she took both hands, and she pushed up against my legs, and I went, okay, it's time. And I said to her, I said, I'm not ready for this. I know you're in a lot of pain because I can feel it. And so, um, I know you're in a lot of pain because I can feel it. I said, so can you please give me a few weeks to get used to this idea? Ever since I said that, and I was saying to her, I said, you'll be going up with grandma. And I said, Shelby and Max and all of your puppies. And so she was all excited. And I said to her, I said, well, let's go and make your appointment. Wow, holy shit. I didn't have to pull her. She walked in front of me, man. Like, what the hell? Like, fuck. Like, a whole month of dragging her ass, a whole month of acting her damn age. And all of a sudden I say that to her. And she just, like, came to life. Walked to the vet, made the appointment. She was all excited. And we walked out. And I made the appointment for 6 weeks. So like I said, every time we went outside though, she would be puppy around people. When there was no person around, that's when she would lay down. She wouldn't do much. What used to be about 10-15 minutes just staying outside, because I would have a couple of tokes of a joint and then come back in. She'd be out there for half an hour laying on the cement, and it was cold. And the ironic thing is, usually by then, she would have a winter coat on, or her fall coat, a sweater, and she didn't want this. She was so hot. It was like every other day she had a fever. And I was like, okay, what? And I'm like, they did the testing, and there was, and she started growing a lump on her side of her stomach. The fevers. And so the one day she came up and she was beside me, and she laid down. She just kind of flopped because she just couldn't, because it's just hard to even jump up on that, like even to jump up on the couch. And I even brought a thing out for her to step, like I brought the step stool out here for her when we were out here. And she would not even be able to make the jump half the time. She didn't want to use the stupid footstool, so she would always hit the couch, like right here, hit her head. I'm like, seriously, why don't you just, oh man. And so there was a couple of times where I had done some healing on her, and she was, oh my God, it was painful. It was painful. And I took a lot of it away, because then she perked up again. And of course people would say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, well, if people would really know about dogs, they would also know that most dogs, no, not most. So in a dog pack, you have your strongest up front, and then you have the weakest in the back, and maybe a couple in the back or something. But anyway, the weakest were in the back, and that's what the whole, like, Kimi would go, always pulling, and then just going back to the back, hiding in the bathroom. A lot of the time she'd be at the front door because there'd be cool air coming in because of her fever. Other times she'd just be in her crate. She was rarely out here anymore. And another sign, so she would go into her crate. And so all of those put together, I knew she was planning to go. Like, there was, yeah. The lump, I'm guessing, was cancer. The mind was not right. She was always hungry. And it's almost like she ate triple the amount that she would normally ever eat, which is, what the heck? Only to poop on the floor. Like, it was, the whole thing was just so bizarre. So I said to Anna, I says, this time I can't let her go through this. So, especially when she kept hitting the wall. And she kept hitting the door. And it's like, oh. They told me she's not blind because they looked in her eyes and they said she's not blind. I'm like, well, something fucked up. But every time she goes outside, she shows this puppy. And it's like, I've had people say, oh, I feel like I'm being judged. And it's like, I'm not putting my puppy through that shit. I'm not putting her through that pain. Because the pain that I felt coming off her when I was hearing her, it was really painful. It really hurt me. Because, I was trying to get it out of her fast. But I wasn't getting it out of me fast enough. Because I didn't want to take that in, obviously. And she came up to me 3 or 4 more times after that. So, have the appointment for the 21st. And then Christmas, after Halloween, it started to get even worse. Well, it was getting what I thought was better. Because I think that when I healed her, she must have felt better. Heal. I don't mean, I'm just kind of like taking her pain away or trying to, I don't know. She did better anyway. The problem was is that I could tell that whatever was happening was faster than I could keep up. And I didn't want to take it in myself because I don't want whatever she has. And at first I thought it was cancer or something because of leukemia or something because of the lump and the way she was acting. And then, like, just how her mind was working made me feel like she just was not there anymore. So I think she was having some dementia on top of all the other stuff. So I said to Anna, I says, because she said that she would be with me because I was with her when we put Max down. And so she said she would be with me when I put Kimi down. And so, I said, I called, excuse me, I'm trying to get a Kleenex here. I got you guys on the Kleenex box. I just said to Anna, I said, I'm not making her wait anymore. And it was interesting as Kimi kept wanting to see Anna because she knew her time was coming up and she wanted to spend more time with Anna. And so that was good. Also because I'm not going to greenhouse because of the weather. It's getting cold. They're closed for the season. Anyway. closed for the season. There's no outside work. Let's put it that way. So, okay. I moved the date up 2 weeks. And I was trying to pick, like, the first date I picked was the date I got my license. So it was kind of like something sad, something bad, but yet it was something that was related to a good date, because I didn't want that date to be bad for me, because we had a good life together, her and I. She was 13. She outlived probably all of her puppies, if not most of her puppies. So I figured being 13 was pretty good. So the day, it was November 4th, which is the puppy's birthday. The second litter's birthday. So, I walked Kimi over, and it drove over. And she, of course, was in front like a whole different dog. So when we walked into the place, and they're like, okay, this is where you're going. And they're all looking at it like, what the your dog is walking. Your dog is, and it's like, of course she is. Because she doesn't want people to know. That's what the pack does. And it's like, everybody, I kind of felt like shit. It was like, everybody was judging me, but nobody was living with us. Nobody saw what she was going through. Nobody seen how she was. Okay, hang on. So, ironic. We get in there, and then they start asking questions. Why? What's going on? What's really happening? Why are you putting her down? And of course, it was almost like I went blank. It was like I froze. I wasn't able to, anyway. It says, you got a growth, and this, and this, and this. And she's just not with it. There's something wrong. They're pooping everywhere, and oh my God. Does she feel bad that she's doing it? So then the vet comes in, and then he asked me the same damn fucking question. But I guess they just want to make sure. And so when I explained everything to him, what she was doing, I forgot about the head hitting them anyway. I told him everything, and then he said, that's Cushing syndrome. And I said, what? And he said, that's Cushing syndrome. And so then I went, okay. I said, I'm not going to put her through anything. If you're going to tell me that's cancer, I'm not putting her through anything. I saw my stepfather go through what they go through, and I wasn't doing that to her. She's 13. She gave me the best life. What am I doing? Keeping her alive for me? So that she can suffer? I don't believe in that shit. I don't. My mom had maid, and she was able to tell me what was wrong and why. Kimi couldn't tell me. I knew she was in a lot of pain, though. And she was just, oh man. Anyway, so they go and take the needle back, or take Kimi back to put the IV in. And then they bring her back, and she starts doing the scuffle, and she's hiding now. So I'm like trying to pick her up, and then she gets up, and then I hold her, and next thing I know, they come in, and they give her the first thing, which is supposed to put her right to sleep. She's staring at me. She's staring at me. Like, just staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes, oh. He said, well, she should have been laying down by now. And I'm like, oh, of course she should have been. Anyway, so they had to go take her back because the needle came out. So I guess even with the even on the skin, she was still kind of wobbly. Oh my God. So then they brought her back. So there was that. It was just all that turmoil. However, once she was back, getting the second needle done, the song, okay, the radio was playing in the office, but I can't hear in the room because it was only in the office. And I could hear the music, but I didn't know what was playing until this one song. And I looked at it and I'm like, seriously right now? Another one bites the dust? Yeah. Seriously. Good play, universe. Good play. So we had a circle. Came in and did it again. And sure enough, she just limped really fast. And then she's now with my mom. When I came home, and I just sat just to kind of collect my thoughts. That was a mess. And I felt her jumping on me and being all happy and stuff. So I know I did the right decision, but it's tough, you know. Anyway, you don't need to see me blubber anymore, but I thought I'd give you guys the news. I have been struggling with antidepressants. I have been struggling with depression. And I am so glad that I'm on antidepressant right now. Because I think I'd be in a worse mess than what I am at the moment. And the antidepressants are really helping. They're helping me get out and do things now, which is, oh God. So anyway, there will be whatever I have on my phone whenever I get to it. And there will be the last videos and pictures of Kimi. You know, it's funny. I always keep a sheet on the couch. Even for me. I mean, I can get sloppy, I'll admit. And usually Kimi would take a cookie if she was full. But she would growl. Okay, so I know she won't eat the cookie, so I wouldn't give it to her, thinking, what do you need it for? And then she'd sit there and bark or growl until she barks at me and she knows I don't want her to bark because it's too loud in here. So then I'm like, okay, give you the cookie only for you to freaking hide it so she can have it later. I guess that's what that's doing. Anyway, so the cushion, the sheet I had tucked in long before I took her. And then when I came home, it was still tucked in. And it wasn't until the next day that it got taken off. And I'm like, what? It was almost like a reminder that, yeah, she's trying to hide her trees. I'm like, okay, don't spook me out like that. Anyway. She was the best dog ever. The best dog I could ever ask for. And I'm so happy I had her. Now she's up there with Shelby, Buddy, who I miss so much. And all the other puppies that are up there. And my mom. Now that picture of my mom and the person and the dog really is... Oh. Anyway, so I just thought I'd let you guys know. It's kind of healing to talk about it, I guess. It does feel so weird. The worst times is at night and in the morning. Because she would pounce on me to go outside. Anyway. I will be going out west soon, so that'll be something to look forward to. And then coming home is going to be probably tough again, but I know she's in a better place. I know she's not in pain anymore. So those are good things. Anyways, I gotta go. This is Catherine Craig. Rest in peace, Kimi. Mama loves you. Peace out.